Hi everyone, it's been a long time. So today I'm going to talk about Trudvang legend from CMON, which a lot of people say that this is the worst board game ever designed. Well, in that case, at least I do give credit to say that this is one of those that was designed by Eric Lang before he was left CMON, and despite all the drama about the slow delivery and like missing date for a few years and everything from the Kickstarter, I'm going to talk a little bit about this game after completing it, as well as also now embarking on the Kickstarter content in the Lost Story box. So just a very quick overview of how this game is a bit more unique with other games. I'm not going to talk about the rules and how to play and everything, so that will be other videos out there. So I'm just going to talk about the uniqueness of some of these games. I mean, not some of these games, this game in particular compared to other games. So this game actually has a very nice game board, as you can see. As you can see, some of the game boards here, there's actually an envelope here that's actually empty, okay, and you can see some of them actually has cards there. So what happened is that as certain things has been unlocked or certain deep has been done or undone, they get added, like there's new cards that actually get slots in here. So you can see that there's actually a way to slot it in, and it also gives you ability to triggers when you actually end up in this location. So that's one of the things that's very unique. There's also some things called a personality. So when you completed certain tasks, for example, take a look at this. This one I think belongs to this guy. So if you completed his task, or by some story components, you get a hero's refresh or gain one of the blue positive traits. So this is as a reminder to you that there is personality traits in this region. You can choose to activate either this or this. So there are like some modifiers in the game, like in the campaign, as you gain more and more of some of this good stuff and bad stuff. Here, as you can see, you will add more to the board itself. Also, the turn is actually determined from 1, 2. As you can see, this is 1, 2, 3. So there are certain sequence, but not all the sequence are in, because I've already been completed the whole campaign itself. So you will see that I have most of them filled in, but still I'm missing the phrase 1, which I wonder what it is. But anyway, each of these phrases to be go through in each turn, and you add cards to it to actually change the gameplay itself. So in certain part of the game when I was playing, I did not have actually all these more advanced phrases, so I only have like 2 or 3 of the phrases going on. There are also some cards that is actually a one-off, like for example, I'm playing one of these stories and there's an event here, okay, so spoilers or not, but there's an event here, and then there's actually adding some of these counters here in order to track time, and it's dragged on, it affects the stories, and it might affect the outcome and things like that. So basically this game has I talk about all the good stuff, and that's maybe a bit about the negative part. So this game uses a deck to actually affect events. So events, they are only this much. That's not a lot. I think easily to say that there's less than 30 cards here, and after a while you find that the event starts to repeat itself. So that's one of the problem, and you don't get more events with I think not even with the expansions, you only get that much. So unfortunately that's about it, all that you get. And they are very generic stuff, like you met a bard, do you want to listen to him to listen to his song, or you met some traveling salesman, do you want to buy some item, or like you triggers and realize some of the bad guys are moving towards you, and as such you will move their miniatures towards you. So these are like the miniatures here. Okay, the miniatures are fantastic. I mean, this is back to the good points. Don't know if I can focus on this, but if I can, this is supposed to look very good, but you can see in other people's video, so so you can see this is the the forest troll. Okay, they call it forest troll, but it looks like elf. I know this is what Trudvang legends calls them anyway, because it's based on the Gnostic and a bit of the Celtic kind of background. As you can see, the the way the characters are dressed. They are very, very different from your typical RPGs. Okay, so talk a little bit about some of the other mechanisms here. This is the game board, so it's a very, very thin game board, which is actually just a piece of cardboard. There's a health counter, and this C is almost like the power counters. You use some of these counters to trigger some of the stuff, like, you know, if you have completed certain criteria, you will get some of these story tokens. There's about 6 of them. Your bunch of cards that represents your inventory, and each of them has a certain powers and traits, and a deck of cards where you use during the attack, which unfortunately this is also one of the minus points for this game. There isn't really a lot of cards. You only get about 9 cards in total, but you will upgrade the cards from, you know, the level 1, level 2 to legendaries. Okay, and you also get to choose one of the 2 ultimate cards. So once that's it about it, you actually upgraded your characters to the max. So being said that, actually I don't really enjoy the combat. The combat, basically you draw from this bag, you draw some tokens, fill up these tokens, trigger the abilities, but it's getting a bit you know, draggy, especially with, like, you know, just fighting small monsters, which is these are the common monsters all over the place. And I've actually used the quick combat rules that's actually available on the board game gate, and basically I use that to resolve this. Basically might lose some health, might gain some power points, and that's where this dice comes in. So the game doesn't come with dice, but you use the dice to do a quick combat, and that makes give me time to progress in the story, because this is one of the plus points in the game. So before I talk about the story, I talk about this special board. Okay, so this special board has something unique. There's actually all these things that uncover. So basically you have A to L, and when you go to certain regions, they will tell you that you need to trigger certain quests. So this is like, for example, a new quest. So you can actually travel to this new location and you interact with this entry in the saga book. And in some places you will actually face off with different monsters. So these are like normal monsters, which make use of these cards. Sometimes you get advanced monsters that actually is listed over here, and then you use the traits and the characteristics here. So there are actually a few more monsters that could appear here rather than on these cards. But unfortunately, this is another complaint that I have, is that there isn't really a lot of monsters in this game. There's only a couple, about 4 or 5 types of enemy figurines. So basically you've seen elf, you've seen like this is what I call the undead. Okay, I think the correct name is the Druga or something like that. I couldn't pronounce it, so sorry. So this is kind of like the skeleton warriors, and basically a few of them, one minotaur looking guy, and you know, I can't remember the rest. It's kind of like, you know, not that many, but they just have different flavor of it, with different names and different you know, characteristics. Unfortunately, that is the common enemy that you have. I wish there was more, and maybe there are more in the expansion boxes, but I don't know. But the whole campaign game that I played for the base game, that's about 20 missions, plus and minus a few that you could not do, maybe about 18 or so. 18 scenarios going through the same old enemy over and over again, which is why the quick battle exists. So because of that, but the most important thing about this game is that I really want to, you know, one of these things that actually outweighs everything else for me is actually the story. So the game is played with, it has a very, very good story. So this is the Lost Story campaign book, which actually is the Kickstarter exclusive. Basically what you have here is there are entries that tells you what happened, that tells you things to add to the map, things to, you know, add to your character, make some decision, jump to certain entry, and you know, it's a choose an adventure type of thing. And the stories are really, really good, because it's like in some of the campaigns you're like playing detective, trying to, you know, solve certain mystery, things are not what it looks like, and some of them you like, you know, going through you know, maybe the trolls, and you know, some people are like at war but trying to resolve it, and then you realize that, you know, the reason for war is kind of stupid, and you know, you got to kind of resolve them. And actually it's a very, very nice story and background into the lore of this whole Trudvang Legends world. So CMON has actually bought the whole Trudvang Legend IP over, and there was an RPG based on it before, and unfortunately I think that's about it. If CMON don't do anything about it, then that's all we hear of, and I don't think they're going to make another board game because this, but I hope that they do, because I like the story in this game. But unfortunately, I don't think this game did very well. It has a lot of negative criticism, and basically I think I'm probably the only one that's, you know, like singing some praise, not all, okay, for this game. And you can see that this so-called Kickstarter exclusive is not really that much. There's basically only 5 additional scenarios here. There are a lot of miniatures though, but so if you're like, you know, if you love the miniature stuff, this is the game for you. And the artworks are really fantastic. I love the artwork. You know, they are like very different from the rest of the typical RPG you get, and the story is really fantastic. You know, I think I've said that like the nth time. But anyway, so that's mainly what I wanted to talk about after finishing the campaign. And you know, it's like there's a lot of tokens, so I will organize all my tokens here. So these are all about it. So you have some health tokens. These are the plus and minus tokens that affects your character. Experience point. You know, they are basically 4 types of you know, of different elements, and then you know you have some of this bad stuff, and then this is a wow for the 4 elements. These are like some bosses. These are like the counters you have seen. I used to count some timers, and then there are some random stuff that's going on. There's also a few things here that there's also some additional adventure maps, which I am not going to show you because I have to unpack that from the box. But basically, you don't really get a lot of stuff that is omitted. I already show you most of them. The rest of them are in this box here, you know, where you can see that there is a whole box of miniatures, a lot of cards, because I've only chosen to use 2 of the cards because I've played solo. So this is my assistant player. There are other characters here, you know, it's like the whole character for this. So this is Brian. She's a warrior, you know, you can tell from this symbol here. And there are quite a few other characters available, and this is the story cards. Okay, story cards, I will show you the one from the Lost Stories. Basically, they give you a very nice holder for the story cards, and as you go to certain places, they will ask you to unfold, like, you know, open LSU01 or something. So you read the story, and okay, so this one actually is I think it's a companion, and there are different things that actually happens here. So story cards are like all the secrets here, and then you also will get some of this, which could be you know, equipment, titles, and stuff like that. So what do I really, you know, like, have to say about this game after completing the campaign? So the stories was pretty good. It was quite an epic journey through, where, you know, from nothing you become heroes, saving a few kingdoms along the way, and also uncovering the last bad guy. But unfortunately, also, you know, as you thought the last bad guy was the last bad guy, it was obviously not. But that is no spoiler, because it's somewhere that happens in between, like chapter 15 or something like that, when you know that you haven't reached the end of the campaign. There's altogether 20 chapters, so you know, it's like likely that, you know, even if you kill the last bad guy, that he has a bigger boss, and you know that there's a bigger boss, and so on. So there is quite a few you know, climatic and epic battles around, and you also get quite a few of these so-called friendly companions to go around you, and it all depends on the choices you do. So you won't get all of them, and sometimes you'll be forced to choose if you get one of them or the other one of them, and maybe get a good version of this, you know, injured version of this, and so on. So based on the story and the choices and the outcome of certain things that actually happen in the game, you actually get to experience a kind of different scenarios, even though you're like playing the same campaign, because of how the outcome has been drafted. And that is actually something that I really like about this game. The stories really like drive you through, and it's not just you know, like it happens everything in this, you know, some things that happen in previous scenarios is going to affect you like in the later scenario. So for example, one of these things that happens that, you know, you see all these locations here, so they are going to be very different. If you manage to save a kingdom here, the kingdom will still exist, and they will still give you you know, bonus points. But you know, if you are too late or you did some bad choices, the kingdom is destroyed. You will actually get a, you know, like destroyed kingdom here, and then instead of taking you know, advantages when you go in, you actually have to lose some penalties and stuff like that. So that is the part that I really like about how the game was structured. I don't really like the part that you need to travel around the sea. So far, that hasn't been very well done. And you know, one of the problem was actually I didn't realize that there's actually, this land is actually connected. So when I was told I need to arrive in some of these places, I thought I'm stuck and I couldn't get a ship here. As you can see, it's like all divided by the sea. But actually, these two locations actually are connected. You can actually just walk across. That was something that I missed at the start of the game, and I hope other people don't. There was quite a lot of error tasks in the game and pointing to the wrong entry, getting the wrong stuff and stuff like that. But they are in the error tasks. So if you print out the error tasks, go through it, prepare, check the error tasks if there's any for this scenario you're playing, and then just be aware of it, and you should stay clear of it. Hopefully not ruin your experience. But other than that, this game is really nice. I'm intend to get the rest of the box because the pledge that I got only include the Kickstarter exclusive and one additional scenarios. There's actually 2 more scenarios that's actually not I didn't pay for it during the Kickstarter, but they're now available in retail. I will get hold of them, and I think that's about it. So this is the part that I think I'm going to go dive deeper into this game and try to experience some of the lore and stories in the Trudvang Legends. For something different, for something like RPG style, it's not very heavy. I would have graded this in between, anything definitely less than Kingdom Death Monsters, Midara, Tender Grill, but it's way more than what your typical zombie sites and stuff, which actually have to okay, I don't know. I mean, it's still from CMON, right? I want to say that zombies have crappy stories, but definitely compared to this crappy story from zombies and the storytelling is really fantastic. So this is kind of like just my short I won't call it review, it's just like maybe after playing through some of the scenarios, and I'm probably one of the few that's completed the whole core campaign, and now moving on to the Kickstarter stuff, and probably to more boxes. But I hope that if there's anything more to say, I might be able to share in a future video. But otherwise, thanks for watching. I don't really make video on a very constant and regular basis, but so I would just ask that if you can just give me a hand, just click the subscribe and like, and that's about it. I won't bug you every week with new videos and new Kickstarters. Okay, I also need to say that I have kind of stopped making updates for Kickstarters games, because I think to some extent it's a bit unhealthy to some people, especially financially. So if you can support Kickstarters, it's good for you. If not, then I also don't want to be one of the people that influence you to actually spend more money on Kickstarter. So that is one of the reasons why I actually stopped doing so. But maybe I'll just dive a bit more into the games that I have, the games that I play. So what else I'm playing? Maybe just talk a little bit about that. I'm also playing Chronicles of Crime, the 1400s, 1900s, and the 2400. So it's so that's something that I have not finished. Also playing the Time Chronicles box that finally arrived for me, and a few other games that actually I might want to dive into. But I guess maybe if I get a chance, I'll talk about them in a future video. Thanks for watching, and have a good year 2025.